Hello guys, and welcome to my first Scratch tutorial where we are going to be making a very simple scrolling Flappy Bird game. Now, yep, here comes the first pipe. If you don't know what a Flappy Bird game is, then, well, it's this game where these pipes scroll by. You have to dodge the pipes. You also can't hit the ground or you lose. And I have made a knockoff of it, a spin-off based on, yes, a Flappy fish. We'll be covering simple variables, gravity, all that good stuff. Scrolling, yeah. What's the cool about this is you will have perfect scrolling. So, I am so excited to get started. Well, first let's start up a new project. And default Scratch Cat is Scratch Cat, not very useful for this project, so let's delete him. Now, let's create a new sprite. Now, I'm going to create a Flappy fish. You can create a Flappy bird, a Flappy potato. Oh yeah, what a good idea. There could be a Flappy potato just flying through, trying not to touch kitchen knives, or forks, or spoons, or whatever. That would be a good idea. Well, create your character. I'm going to create a Flappy fish. To do that, make a potato shape. And then create an eye using a big circle filled with white and a smaller circle filled with black. Alright, that's the pupil. And of course, a tail. Now, Scratch doesn't have a triangle thing, but you can create your own triangle using these easy steps. Start by creating a rectangle. Maybe fill it with an orangish sort of color. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Now click on this button. This allows you to drag the points on a shape to pull them around. If we did it with our Flappy Fisher. Oh, no. I'm going to press the undo button to undo that. Well, so click on one of these points on your tail and press the backspace or delete button. There we go. Now we've got a triangle. Drag this up here. Yes! Perfect triangle. Alright. Oh. Now make sure that your fish is centered on the stage. That is, drag over your whole fish, or potato, or tomato, or whatever. Then you see this crosshair right here? That's the object's orientation. That's where it's going to be rotated from. Like that. Match it with this center cross here. It'll automatically lock for you. Alright. But I feel like our Flappy fish is a bit too hard, a bit too fat. So I'm going to make like sort of a hot or a hamburger bun shape. And yeah, that's good. I'm gonna put the tail out a little bit. And there's our Flappy fish. Let's rename him Flappy Fish. He is way too big. So let's size him down. Go to the code tab and go to the events tab and drag in one green flag, click. Go to Lux and drag in a set size to block and type 60 in the window here. You can do whatever you like, 30, 80, what about 45? Yep, that's a good size. This would be contradictory if you put something like 2000. Whoa! That is one giant fish. Well, let's just make him a little small. Next, you'll need to center him on the stage. Drag in a go-to XY block from the motion tab and then replace this with X0, Y0. There we go. Okay, so our fish isn't really doing anything. He's just sitting there and looking like this way, and he's like, I don't know. So let's add in some gravity. First thing we need to do is make a new variable, YV, for all sprites. YV stands for Y velocity. Now, drag in a forever loop. Now go to motion and drag in the change Y by 10 block and go to variables and drag in YV into change Y by. And nothing's happening because YV is 0. Well, let's fix that. I can change my variable by 1 block. Well, let's just delete my variable. We don't need it. Then change YV by minus 0.1. That's the gravity. And yep. Oh, almost forgot. Under the one green flag clicked block, set YV to 0. And that's good. Only thing is we don't have a way to make him jump. Alright, drag out another one green flag, click into forever. Now, drag in an if statement, and if key space pressed, then change YV by 3. Ooh, that's a little too much propulsion. But you can see a very basic gravity function. Yep. Alright. First thing to address. If you keep on pressing space, you shoot up like a rocket. You can see YV going up here. And so, let's fix that. Drag in a wait until block from control and put it in the if statement. Make sure not to put it in the forever loop, but in the if statement. Now, duplicate this block. And from Operators tab, drag in the not block. Basically, this waits until not key space press. Wait, alright. I'm not pressing space right now, so when I click this block, it says true. But when I hold down space, it says false. This is just what we want. Now, wait until not key space press. Good! Alright, one more thing to address. I don't want, if we keep pressing space, he just sticks to the ceiling. I mean, that's a little unrealistic, don't you think? Let's make him bounce off the ceiling. We could just do this with, say, an if on edge bounce block, but watch what happens. You somehow got still stuck to the ceiling, and now you're rotated in a weird way. So, let's not do that. Oof. Alright, make sure that your character's pointing in direction 90 again. And get rid of this horrible script. Alright. What to do. I've got it. Drag in an if statement from the control tab and a touching mouse pointer block from the sensing tab. Change mouse pointer to edge. Now drag in a change YV by block from the variables tab. And switch this around to change YV by -3. Alright? Well, way too much. What about -2? Still too much. -1. Oh, one more thing. You can play around with these values if you want. If you put change YV by 1, you'll have backwards gravity, which is sort of weird. If you put -1, you wouldn't be able to get off the ground. But for me, -0.1 is a good value. Also, I'm going to stop the player from accelerating too fast. Drag in another green flag, click, and a forever. Now, add in an if and a I can't tell which is less than or greater than. Well, whatever. Just drag in greater than operator and check if I velocity is greater than 3. If so, then set y velocity to 3. Good. So you don't accelerate crazy fast anymore. Alright. So we've got the basics down. Gravity, simple scripts. Oh, let's clean up our blocks. But we have yet to add in a ground. Make a new sprite and rename it ground. And down here, just draw one boring big rectangle. I'm going to color it orange because Orange is the color of ocean sand. And I don't want this outline. Well, I kind of do, actually. So, alright. Make sure it's centered. So, just type 0, 0 over here in X and Y. Alright. What to do next? But if you see the fish... Oh no, he disappeared. Yeah, he basically disappeared behind the ground and dun dun dun, he's never coming back. Or is he? No, he's not. Because the code we set in here, if touching edge, changes y velocity by -1. So if we touch this edge here, then we'll only get more attracted to it. Something like a magnet. Also, if we just hung around here, just hung around on this beach, then we would be able to spot a pipe from far away. Then we could just... No, we want to add a new taste of difficulty. We want the game to end when we touch the ground. Okay, let's add that in. Drag in another one flag clicked forever. Yeah, a lot of one flag clicked forevers. You can reorganize them. But this needs to stay by itself. Do not alter this unless you want to change this value. Do not alter this otherwise. Because say I put in a change y by yv block, change yv by my slam. If I press in held space, you can see I'm not moving at all. Why is this? Well, because it's still waiting until the key's space is not pressed. And it holds this part off until it's not pressed. Well, anyway, that's what it is. So, and if touching ground, then we're gonna broadcast a new event. Let's call it news. A very simple 4-letter word that has frustrated gamers by the millions. So, what should happen when this new event is broadcasted? Well, nothing really happens, because we need to put one of these receiver blocks to receive the message. Okay, let's make a new sprite. Name it Game Over. I'm going to put in a simple background. Make sure it's centered too. Add in some text so they know that the game is over and they did not win. Well, there is no way to win in this game, really. Add in some simple text. Now, to script. Oh no! Our screen is obscured by the gigantic game over sign. Let's fix that. Add in a when flag clicked. Then put hide. Whew! The giant obscuring thing is gone. Now, add in a when I receive lose block. Then show. And then go control and drag in a stop all block. And we have to restart the game. Frustrating, but a step ahead. And the part that you have all been waiting for. The pipes. Let's make him. Alright. This sprite will be called. Okay, guys. Did I cut? Maybe. But anyway. We need to create 6 costumes for Pipe Sprite. Sprite. Did I introduce the Pipe Sprite? I'm not sure. But anyway, height 1, make sure you draw this little box. Height 2, make sure you draw this little box. Height 3, make sure you draw this little box. Height -1, contradictory to what you may have been thinking. Actually, draw this little box in all of them. Height -2 and height -3. What is important is you name your sprites costumes exactly the same as my sprite costumes. That might look like a hyphen right here, but it's actually a minus sign. Alright, once you're done with that, let's get coding. When flag clicked, go to X 300, Y 0. Alright, now you may be thinking, wait, where'd it go? It actually might have sorta went off screen. So, that's okay though, cause that's for our purposes. Alright, now add in a forever loop. Forever create clone of myself. Add in a wait from the control category. And go to operators and pick out a pick random block and put in 6 to 8. Now what the pick random does is it picks a random number between a minimum value, which is 6, and a maximum value, which is 8. Let's drag that in the way. Alright. Now, when I start as a clone, repeat until drag in a more than? Well, whatever. Less than or more than operator. Go motion, get exposition. Exposition is less than, here we go, -300. Alright, down here, delete this clone. Alright, move -1 steps. Now let's see. It'll spawn. Here comes our first pipe. And yeah, eventually another one will spawn of the same type. That's weird. A third one of the same type. Yet another one of the same type. What? So basically, they're all the same type because, well, we're not adding in a switch costume to block up here. So add that in. Now, this is very important. Remember this when I told you to name it these costumes exactly as I did? That's pretty important. So, add in a pick random block and add in -3 to 3. Alright, also add in a join block. Pick random -3 to 3. Now, in this space where it says apple, just put height. So basically, it's going to pick a random number from -3 to 3. Let's say -2, and join it with height. That would be height -2. Alright. Okay. Drag it in the switch costume block. And our first pipe is still the same, but yes, a longer pipe. And but what happens if we touch it? Oh no, I can't bear to look. I can't bear to look. I can't bear to. Okay, game over. But do you notice that it was actually when we hit the ground, not the pipe? That's because we haven't coded in the code that says, if you hit the pipe, you die! I mean, that's kind of common sense, I guess. But apparently this game doesn't know common sense. It's old. It does exactly what's told. Oh, and also, do you notice that the pipes were appearing in front of the ground? This may be good for some games, but for me, it's not very good. So I'm gonna drag in a go to back layer. Alright, when we start the game up again, and I don't have terrible Flappy Bird skills, the error should be fixed. And that's it. Alright, now to make the pipes kill you, it's really easy. Make sure this is an or, not an and that you drag out of the operators. Because if it's and, you're gonna have some serious fun not dying. Unless you hit the ground and the pipe at the same time. Now, drag in a touching mouse pointer block and change mouse pointer to pipes. Drag in the right side of the door. Drag in the touching ground on the left side. Put back in this. Alright, let's try it. Man, why isn't my project saving? Why? Just why? And let's see. Game over! game over. Alright, we've got the meat and potatoes of our game down. But now it's time to add in some fun. First, we're gonna add in a backdrop. Did you think it was kind of not fun to be staring at an empty white screen? It was also kind of a little, let's say a little creepy. So I'm gonna add in a watery backdrop of my own creation. Alright, now that looks like water. Let's add in a very simple ground. Let's pretend there's like more pipes in the background. There we go. That's a nice army green color. Add in some pipes in the background. Please excuse my horrible artistic skill. Maybe like some coral? Yeah. Now you see how horrible at art I am. So, yeah. You see the weird thing that looks kind of like a tree and kind of like unidentified. I'm gonna copy, paste, flip it around, change the fill to something like red. Green. Alright, that's a good color. Let's add in a shipwreck. Yeah. Yeah. You can add in whatever you want. These are just suggestions. Well, at least if you're making a Flappy fish game. If you're making a Flappy bird game, you could put in some clouds. Maybe like an airplane. The ideas go on forever. Alright, I'm gonna make a mast for my ship. Also an anchor. Let's change the size to 10. The fill color to gray. I'm gonna make a simple anchor out of shapes. There we go. I'm gonna group this thing together. Now, I'm going to use a black line to connect this to, let's make a little hole. Pointing. Making a kind of, ooh, what's happening here? Remember, you can always press undo if things, well, let's just say don't go so well. And there we go. My very simple, very unartistic example for you to, well, overwhelm with more or realistic images. You could even use one of the backgrounds that Scratch has available for you. Yeah, look at that. Just swimming through the sea. You know what would be better? If we had some bubbles going around behind us. Let's do that. Now, the reason why I'm not drawing this in the actual Flappy Fish sprite. What is that? What is that thing? Tell me what that thing is. It's like some kind of 3D tunnel. Okay. That is a little weird. Alright, let's change the size. Now, the reason wrong tool. Come on. Ta-da! A bubble behind me. Now, let's explain why we don't want this bubble in here. In this Flappy Fish. Let's wait for a pipe to come up. Alright. Now, if we... well, that was a bad example. Bad. Alright. Here comes a pipe. Now, if we... missed the pipe! How could you? How dare you? What? But it didn't touch me. It touched the bubble. Well, the bubble is part of the Flappy Fish costume. So it actually counts as part of the Flappy Fish. Goodbye, bubble. Let's make a better approach. Make a new sprite, name it Bubbles. Alright. I'm gonna make 3 costumes, but you can make as many as you want. Make some simple bubbles that trail behind you. Alright. Now, add a when flag clicked forever. Go to Flappy Fish. Whoa, those are some mighty big bubbles. And they're positioned in the front of the Flappy Fish, not behind him. Let's fix that. All you need to do is add a go to back layer. And now the Flappy Fish is in front. But they're still giant. So add a set size to 50 block. Yeah. Alright. Add a next costume block. Oh man, no way. Add a separate forever loop with a separate when green flag clicked block. And add a small weight. Alright. Still a little too big. What about 20? Alright. Oh. 20. Alright. Next, let's position them correctly. Change X by -10 should do the trick. What about -20? Yeah. Let's make it a little more ambitious. Oh, yeah. And there we go, folks. That is the complete Flappy Fish game. Just make sure to hide the Y velocity variable. Make this, show it off to your friends, set timer, and see what your best survival time is. Ooh, that would be a great idea. Maybe you could add in an in-game timer. Well, folks, that's the end of this video. You can see the bubbles don't affect me dying. So, well, folks, that's all. And make sure to comment and like and subscribe. And, well, if you want, there is a link to the actual Scratch project that I made, an example Scratch project that I made below in the video description, so you can check that out. Maybe copy some of the art. Hey, I don't mind. Maybe you can make it even better. I'd love to see what you create. And there's also a link to the studio where you can put your fish project in. So, well, folks, that's it. Make sure to like, subscribe, add your Scratch project, and that's me out.